looking at you, my brother, and I say this affectionately, you might be one of the dumbest folks on the planet Earth.
Apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you.
Imagine being a 57-year-old retired NFL superstar worth millions of dollars, has 2 daughters and a son, works for ESPN, and you throw away your whole reputation because you wanted to go mess around with an OF model that is 30 years younger than you.
The internet is going absolutely insane right now. Shannon Sharpe's empire just collapsed faster than a house of cards, and Stephen A. Smith, he's out here throwing the biggest party you've ever seen. This man really went on national TV and basically read Shannon's eulogy while he's still breathing. The disrespect is unmatched. But here's where it gets twisted. Shannon did this to himself. Every single move. That clip of Stephen A. absolutely demolishing Shannon is breaking the internet right now. People are hitting replay like their lives depend on it. But it's not just the savage one-liners that have everyone shook. Stephen A. literally looked into that camera and said Shannon's career is finished. No coming back. Game over. Fans are asking the real questions now. Is Stephen A. secretly trying to destroy Shannon? Does he know something we don't? Or is this just pure jealousy spilling out on live TV? The tea that spilled afterward painted the ugliest picture nobody wanted to see. Stephen A. came through with the receipts, and boy did he deliver. Do I believe Shannon Sharpe is guilty? Absolutely not. That's my personal opinion based on the brother I know. But just as emphatically, I'm reminding everyone that's my opinion because of what I feel about him, not because I know anything beyond that. Translation? Stephen A. just said, I don't think he did it, but I don't actually know anything. That's not the defense Shannon was probably hoping for. If you've been sleeping on this drama, let me catch you up real quick. Shannon went from being the internet's favorite uncle to the most clown sports personality online. Lawsuit after lawsuit started hitting him like a freight train. But what most people missed was what happened after he settled that massive case with OnlyFans model Gabrielle Zuniga. Shannon ended up completely broke, pockets on E, debt stacked to the ceiling. And who was the first to smell blood in the water? Stephen A. Smith, obviously. This man hopped on air and went on a 20-minute destruction spree, picking apart every bad decision Shannon ever made. Sure, he tried to play it off like tough love, but anybody watching could see that smirk, that tone. He was barely holding back from celebrating Shannon's downfall. Fans caught the energy immediately. One Twitter user said, Stephen A. really just gave Shannon the most backhanded defense in TV history. Another posted, this man said, I don't think he did it, but Disney said bye, with his whole chest. And Stephen A. kept going. ESPN and Disney have a wait-and-see attitude when it comes to whatever evidence they may learn about Shannon Sharpe from legal and civil perspectives. But they didn't need any definitive evidence once Shannon's lawyer put all that stuff out there. It was uncomfortable to listen to and not something Walt Disney wants associated with his brand. Basically, Stephen A. just confirmed what everyone suspected. Shannon got the boot not because Disney thought he was guilty, but because the whole situation was too messy for their brand. But here's the crazy part. Just months before all this chaos, Shannon was on top of the world. That explosive Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay absolutely shattered YouTube records. Millions of views, headlines everywhere. Then came the bombshell. News Shannon was about to sign a $100 million podcast deal, the biggest bag any athlete-turned-media personality had ever secured. Add his ESPN money and side hustles, and Shannon looked untouchable. Until Gabrielle Zuniga crashed the whole party. But here's what's really wild. Shannon allegedly knew about that lawsuit before the public ever heard about it. So when he started throwing those shady comments on air, he wasn't just talking trash. He was speaking with inside information. He knew Shannon's ESPN days were numbered before Shannon probably knew it himself. The lawsuit itself was absolutely wild. Gabrielle's opening demand, a jaw-dropping $50 million. Shannon's response, he practically laughed in her face, calling it a straight-up money grab. He even threatened to flip the script and sue both Gabrielle and her lawyer, Tony Busby, for extortion and defamation. On camera, Shannon looked calm, confident, ready for war, like he truly believed none of it could touch him. Then those audio recordings leaked. The internet caught fire immediately. In one clip, you could hear Shannon making aggressive threats. In another, Gabrielle's voice was trembling like she genuinely feared for her safety. That's when everything changed overnight. Stephen A. decided he was done staying quiet. Remember, these two go way back. Stephen A. actually helped Shannon land that Fox Sports gig years ago. Fans expected him to defend his friend, or at least stay neutral. But Stephen A. had other plans entirely.
Shannon released this whole statement. This is a shakedown orchestrated by Tony Busby, who targets black men. I believe he's going to release clips to make me look guilty and play into stereotypes. The encounter took place during the day at her invitation. This appears to be a deliberate setup. They want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation. That settlement hit Shannon's bank account like a meteor. Tens of millions gone instantly, plus legal bills on top of that. And right after Shannon cut that massive check, Gabrielle announced she was retiring from OnlyFans. Not a word about justice or healing, just pure silence about the lawsuit. Never mentioned other alleged victims, never even hinted at recovery. She just got her bag and disappeared. Fans started connecting dots. Was this whole thing a setup from day one? One Instagram comment read. And if it wasn't, what evidence did they have that made Shannon go from threatening to destroy her in court to quietly writing a check? But that was just the opening act in Shannon's downfall story. Skeletons started rattling out of every closet. Turns out Gabrielle wasn't the first to accuse Shannon of crossing lines. His ex Michelle Evans had hit him with a similar lawsuit years ago, tied to incidents from a whole decade back. Now Michelle's back, and she's not playing games. She's suing Shannon for defamation and demanding $16 million. Word on the street is she's holding receipts that could bury him completely. Shannon went from being the people's champ to someone the internet labels as a creep. Fans had been warning him for years to slow down and clean up his act, or he'd crash and burn, broke and humiliated. Those warnings are haunting him now, because old Club Shay Shay clips are going viral for all the wrong reasons. One clip shows Monique looking him dead in the eye, warning him about messing around with women young enough to be his daughters. "Keep this up, and you're headed for a nasty downfall," she told him straight up. People are saying she called it perfectly. But that's nothing compared to the Cat Williams clip that's resurfaced. While Monique kept it classy, Cat came swinging with no filter, telling Shannon it doesn't matter how famous you are, if you don't watch yourself, you'll end up destroyed like Kang the Conqueror. The delivery was absolutely savage, and now fans are eating it up all over again. Comments are flooding in. "Shannon, this could have all been avoided if you actually listened to Cat and Monique." Another person wrote, "They were sitting right beside you, dropping game, and you ignored every single word." And just when you think this man couldn't take another hit, boom, ESPN drops that termination letter. Hosting First Take was the crown jewel of Shannon's career, his biggest bag by far. But once word spread about that settlement, the suits upstairs decided it was time to cut him loose. No dramatic press release, no public fallout, just a cold email saying they were moving on without him. Insiders say Shannon was absolutely devastated. This wasn't just losing a job. This was the ultimate signal that his credibility in sports media had completely flatlined. His image, ruined. His bank account, deep in the red. Club Shay Shay's views, nosediving. Sponsors, going ghost. Merch lines, stalled. Word is he's even unloading parts of his real estate portfolio just to stay afloat, including that Atlanta mansion he used to flex on Instagram. Shannon looks like a man throwing everything at the wall hoping something will stick. Then came the move that set social media on fire. Stephen A. Smith unfollowed Shannon on Instagram. That one click told the entire story. This wasn't just about a messy scandal anymore. This was a full friendship breakup happening in public view. The fallout didn't stop there. Word is, Stephen A. won't even pick up Shannon's calls anymore. Meanwhile, Club Shay Shay's YouTube numbers have been in steady freefall ever since that legendary Cat Williams interview. The viral high is long gone, and every new guest Shannon books gets measured against that moment. One YouTube comment nailed it. This might be the biggest fumble in sports media history. Shannon finally decided to speak out in a nightcap video, and it blew up instantly. You could hear the embarrassment in his voice. He knew the world was watching, and he knew exactly how far he'd fallen. But it wasn't the apology fans expected. Instead, Shannon started deflecting. Comments came in hot. "Shannon, bro, take accountability for your own actions." Another said, "Look in the mirror, change how you handle business, and these women will move in silence." Stephen A. wasn't done twisting the knife either. He came back with more commentary. "I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. Even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful he's completely innocent, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place because I don't know anything. I don't even know this person involved. I know what the reports say, from AP to New York Post to Forbes to TMZ. I can't even count the publications that have covered this. It's all over the internet." Translation? Stephen A. just said, "Shannon's my boy, but I don't know what really happened, and it's too messy for me to defend." That clip got reposted and roasted within minutes. Sponsors that once lined up to work with Shannon are quietly backing out. Those who stay are reportedly renegotiating deals to pay him less. Sports blogs, gossip pages, and late-night hosts are turning his downfall into punchlines. One viral skit mocked Shannon's fall by showing a man in a sharp suit holding cash, then slowly stripping off the suit piece by piece until he's left with nothing. Fans said it was brutal, but accurate. Rumors are flying that Shannon is trying to land a comeback gig, but networks are scared to touch him because they don't want his baggage. Industry whispers say his only real option might be going fully independent, but that takes fan trust he just doesn't have right now. Meanwhile, Stephen A. is thriving, pulling big ratings, scoring new brand deals, and fans are openly comparing the two. One brutal tweet summed it up. Stephen A. built an empire. Shannon built a mess. This isn't just a bad season for Shannon Sharpe. This is a complete collapse of a brand that once looked bulletproof. The man who was the voice of sports debate is now fighting to keep his name from sinking completely. His media empire is crumbling. His reputation is in shreds. His bank account is bleeding faster than he can patch the holes. Insiders say Shannon's inner circle is shrinking fast. Friends distancing themselves. Former colleagues going silent. Even family members urging him to step away from the spotlight before he does more damage. But Shannon's still trying to push content, still trying to crack jokes like nothing's wrong, even as views keep sliding and sponsors keep ghosting. The coldest part, the same internet that used to hype him up is now rooting for the final nail in the coffin. Whether that's fair or not, the love has flipped to pity, and pity rarely pays bills. After Shannon's nightcap video went viral, Stephen A. jumped back into the mix and straight up laughed in Shannon's face on his own channel. That clip spread like wildfire across every platform. People expected loyalty from Stephen A., maybe even a defense. Instead, he was leading the hate train. One brutal clip says it all. Stephen A. grinning ear to ear while picking apart Shannon's every word. The part that stung the most? Shannon used to be respected, the OG of reason, the guy who kept it real. Now, he's the punchline, the man who fumbled the bag, got clowned by his so-called friend, and is stuck with no clear next move. Stephen A. didn't even have to destroy Shannon. He just stood back and let Shannon bury himself. Now Stephen A. is still standing, still talking, still dominating, while Shannon sits in silence, watching everyone he thought had his back walk away. So here's the real question. Is this the ultimate betrayal, or just cold business in the cutthroat world of sports media? Did Stephen A. throw his friend under the bus, or did Shannon drive that bus off the cliff himself? The streets are divided, the internet is going wild, and Shannon Sharpe's career might never recover from this public execution. What do you think really went down?